so I got a self-defense. They tried to install my gene pool over my pinball machine door like we were in preschool. So I slashed the stone with a 12-inch and cooked this bloody intros in a saucepan. But I thought it was socially acceptable to kill people who you disagree with offhand. So why should I be killed after? I at least kill a person a week. I'm the field actor whose dream is to star in a black version of Greek. One more says due to my troubled past. I'm a byproduct of interbreeding, whose parents soothe my baby gums with crucifix splinters when teeth in. I may be dumb, but I'm not crazy. At the teen and whipper fend beggars and the 10 keggers with my liver bleeding. Just as before, I was committed to a series of mental wards where teens were harshly raped. Nothing says love like yellow awards and Larry Clark remakes. You scream clemency like a lot of crypto tookie. My last meal's vegan chopped liver, pot stickers, and a chocolate chip cookie. At least someone died in an empty stomach.
Real rock from the rock.
Death row, CEO said let's go. My soul gets dough and escrow. Last supper, I'll have a Christ hat. Write kites to my seeds of advice like a nice dad. Vice versa, twice the lights on a rice pad. It's funny what guarantees people's protection, but I prefer gas chamber lethal injection. Cookies the nuts right beneath his erection. Spare me, you're bugging like Mary Mary. Says the state executioner Harry Carey. Cuckoo seppuku, should I dance to the hall in a tutu? My files say got the IQ of stew. Shrug off a handle like my shoulders got antlers. Outfox more oxes than cattle ranchers. Boogie to the beat is Meshuggah. Don't know, look it up like a court-ordered attorney. Strapped in a gurney, squirming but shackles hold me back firmly. Cuffed in the stall, got nothing nice to say nothing at all. Sodium pentothal is a sedative. I may look asleep, yet the dead'll still live. I've flushed with saline, then paralyzing agents ensures breathing and muscles failing. I've flushed again, then potassium chloride. Welcome to hell, I'll be your tour guide. Last thought is my lungs filled with blood. Life begins at the moment you're loved.
Friends, I'd like to read you a poem written by a good American. And when the Rosenbergs are dead and wrapped in shrouds of Kremlin red, all future traitors will be aware that they will cry in the electric chair.
Look out. Right on. Look out.
In April of 1993, two members of the Wisconsin Outlaws motorcycle gang came up to my father's motorcycle shop explicitly to rob and murder my parents. I found their bodies the next day. I was arrested by police. Within 3 hours, illegally, it was determined later by the courts. After an 18-hour interrogation, 3 policemen conspired and concocted a confession, which I never uttered. I did not confess to the crime. The jury deliberated less than 3 hours before finding me guilty. I was subsequently sentenced to die by the judge. Murray Marshall and 6 of his students took it upon themselves to investigate my case, my wrongful conviction. They got my conviction overturned by the appellate court in 1996, and I was freed 9 months later.
Heads up.
One of the amazing things is when you go out, the death chair was right there, and they would have the curtains open. And as we are trying to enjoy the little sunshine or whatever, you look over, you're looking right at the death chair, you know, so.
Don't let your emotions about it get to your head, and just stop and think and look back at the evidence and look where the evidence does point. It's a great tragedy that your kids was killed, but it's also another great tragedy that American citizens can just be picked up for a crime they didn't commit and convicted of it without no evidence. That's another tragedy.
A guy I met in prison. We started hanging out. We started robbing drug houses. One day, the Chicago police picked me up. They told me that I was being arrested for a parole violation, and they took me to Chicago. And there they tried to get me to talk to them. I kept saying I want to call my attorney. So they tortured and signed a false confession. In prison, you got all these so-called rough guys around you, and to tell them that somebody beat you, to make you admit to something that you didn't do, guys don't want to admit that.
A man named Kevin Cooper has been given a date to die. State of California plans to kill him by pumping him full of poison. Cooper, convicted back in 1984 of the slaying of 3 members of the Ryan clan. Joshua Ryan saw who attacked him, and upon recovery told police that it was 3 white or Latino men. It is important to note that he is an African-American man. That wasn't lost during his trial. Demonstrators calling for his death hung a toy gorilla in effigy. Police and prosecutors told jurors that a bloody shoe print proved Cooper's guilt. Well, the jurors told that Deputy William Baer had a pair of prison shoes in his lab, which were Cooper's size. What they also didn't know was that the deputy, post-trial, was fired for stealing 5 pounds of heroin from the evidence locker. 5 pounds, both to use and to sell to drug dealers. Cooper is on death row, awaiting a date with death based on investigators such as these. Incredible. From death row, this is Mumia Abu Jamal.
Right on. Look out. Right on. Look out.
Heads up.
Look out. Right on. Look out.